Bitcoin keeps skyrocketing higher. We are now sitting at 27.8. We've just been rejected off the $28,000 level, which is one of the key things that we were expecting. I am currently in a short position, but I might actually be closing that relatively soon. I told you guys earlier today that I entered a short position on Bitcoin, closed it at break even. I'm glad I did that, and I'm now in another short here. These orders were already set, and I already told VIP members what I was thinking of doing, and part of the deal with VIP is you're going to get all of the updates on my trades as well. If I get cold feet, and I did get cold feet today, I'll tell you that, and I will tell you so instantly, right? So as soon as my trade was open, I decided, actually, I don't want to be in it anymore, but I'm in another one right now, and let's talk about this market. We are still facing mounting resistance. Bitcoin has formed a phenomenal daily candle, though. Let's just start off with that. That is definitely going to be the highlight of today. Bitcoin is up beautifully on this daily candle. We haven't seen volatility like this for a while. Even on the bearish candles that we got here, this one was definitely quite large. But still, today's daily candle is the biggest candle we've seen probably since this dump, or even earlier, like over here, literally the beginning of May, which makes this a big deal. We have very clearly pumped out of an area where we were kind of consolidating, falling downwards, and we've now formed an explosive reaction higher. I guess one of the big issues is that we're doing all of this on a weekend, which you don't really want to see. You want these kind of moves to be correlated with traditional finance, but the really good news I have for you guys is that traditional finance has been bullish. So it's actually Bitcoin that's been lagging behind. The S&P 500 broke out of its resistance level twice, okay? That's a really, really big deal. NASDAQ and so on, I mean, everyone's just talking about brand new all-time highs. NASDAQ has cleared a critical area of resistance, which we actually covered with you guys on the Four Flies Daily channel. That was right here on this YouTube video. Not many of you guys actually watched it, but this is worth checking out, because with the content I'm giving you guys, you can actually trade things like the NASDAQ and S&P 500 on BingX without KYC. That means no pictures of yourself or your ID. And the cool thing about, traditional finance markets like NASDAQ and the S&P and, stocks like Tesla and Apple is that they are a lot less manipulated than Bitcoin, which just makes them easier to trade sometimes, but the fact is that traditional finance has already moved up, and Bitcoin was the only asset that was kind of lagging behind. So we are starting to see it catch up now, which is absolutely beautiful. But again, let's not lose sight of where we are. We are still well within a resistance range. This entire range is resistance, and we can see that very clearly by looking at the VPVR. If we take a look at the VPVR right here, it is extremely clear that we've got a big spike of resistance right here on the VPVR, exactly where we are going to be struggling at right now. So if we are able to get above $28,000 and hold above it, we're good. The key level to break for me is going to be 28.6, a cent above this level, and I'm probably going to start strapping that jetpack to my back again. It's worth noting, I'm making money on both sides today, guys. I'm already in a long position. You guys have known about this position for a very long time. I entered it right at the bottom like a fucking G, and we're riding this up back towards that $200,000 profit, which is absolutely beautiful. But I'm also in a profit on a short right now, so we're trading it both ways. Definitely not something that I would do all the time. I've made this very clear to you guys in the past, and I will reiterate it again right now, that I am not the kind of trader that takes a million trades a week. It's just not what I do. But when the setup looks good, when the setup looks safe and compelling, I'll make the money. I'm down for it. So, that's just kind of my trading style here. So I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. In all honesty, given the strength of this pump, look, there's something I gotta weigh up, right? I gotta weigh up the potential upside of this trade and the potential downside of this trade, and also keep in mind that I'm already in a profit. I'm already in a really big profit. So, percentage-wise, this trade went over 400% profit. That's more than a 5 times gain on the capital that was still in my position. I don't need to be greedy right now. I don't need to go chasing, little day trading, short opportunities when I've already made the big money. It's precisely what happens, where people stumble, is that they might make a little bit of money, become really confident, and obviously they're thinking, but this isn't enough, I need more. And what they'll actually go ahead and do after that is they'll just kind of gamble all their money away, just because they're getting a little bit too excited. And that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're trying to go down, the road of. And that's why it's really important to stay cautious at times like this. We do have some pretty crazy times right now with the key numbers that I like to look at in these markets right here, right? If we look at the, fear and greed and the long and short ratio, we're still overextended for the bulls right here, and that is really important to keep in mind. It's not particularly often in my experience that the market actually moves in the direction that retail traders are betting on, all right? Because retail traders are almost always completely fucking incorrect. When we had this kind of ratio on the opposite side for short positions, that happened when Bitcoin bottomed out down here. and that happened when I entered a when I entered a long position. I entered right here, right? So, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at the same kind of situation right now where everybody's really, really bullish, but, we're at a key area of resistance. Back here, everybody was bearish, but we were at a key area of support, being $20,000. So this is a big deal. This is definitely important in my opinion, and what I like as far as, the kind of price action range goes is that we haven't cleared the bulk of the resistance yet. In fact, I could actually stretch this box up a little bit more, probably even up to these kind of candle highs right here, very clearly illustrating that we are not out of the trouble range right now. Again, with that VPVR, if we zoom in a little bit and let this reset, we are brushing up the resistance right now. Now, if we are able to break it, we're going to have that rally potentially up to 28.6, and that's going to be the deciding level for me, to make me bullish, is if we do get above 28.6. If we're above 28.6, I'm going to be stopped out of my short positions. That's completely fine. They weren't big short positions in the first place, and this long position regains the reins for me, right? So that's kind of what I'm looking at right here, and the reason for that is just going to be because of all the resistance that still stays in this range. Now, like I said, if we are able to pump above this range, let's talk about that. We've got an 8.5% pump to get back up to the high at $31,000. This is where we got rejected and we had the swing high. It should be breezy for Bitcoin. I don't know if that would happen today. It's most likely, I would have to say, probably not going to happen today, but certainly the day after, especially if traditional finance is bullish for tomorrow's open, that's probably going to play into Bitcoin's favor. I did mention an update on the dollar, so shout out to those of you that are subscribed, catching all this content right when I'm putting it out for you guys. If we do take a look at the dollar right here on the hourly time frame, we have gapped up a little bit, but it's not really changing the picture, and the picture for the dollar is still strong. So, with a strong dollar, and it doesn't really have much resistance from what I'm seeing here. If we just kind of trace this blue line and look at the kind of action that the dollar has seen around these areas, it makes a lot more sense for the dollar to kind of reverse at about 105, which we aren't quite there yet. So more upside for the dollar is generally going to mean some problems for Bitcoin, but so far Bitcoin doesn't seem to worry about that, which is absolutely beautiful. And it does definitely, the more this goes on, and we've only got 2 hours left until this daily candle closes, it does definitely look like this was quite a clear deviation here, allowing the market to kind of reclaim its range here. So this is going to be really interesting to see how it plays out, and it's also going to be really interesting, like I said, to see if indices like the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are able to actually keep their gains, for next week. That may not happen. How is this market live? Okay, well, I guess the NASDAQ opened just now, so that's really weird. Someone explained that to me. I didn't know the NASDAQ opens on a Sunday in the United States, but here we are. Maybe I'm just completely missing something. Yeah, S&P 500 is not open. Is it NASDAQ is just special? I don't know. But we are looking at quite an interesting setup on this chart. There is a lot to watch. There is a lot to keep an eye on. And you already know the deal, guys. I am trading these markets right here on the platforms that I've linked for you in the description down below. One of the coolest offers is definitely Bybit's $30,000 bonus. You are literally going to get up to $30,000 of free capital deposited into your account that you can trade with. You can deploy that money back into the market in any way you like. And if you generate any profits with their money, you can withdraw those profits. That is a very, very compelling offer. This is going to depend on your deposit size and trading size, but once you start trading, you'll get that credited into your account. And you can also buy coins with 0% spot fees. So if you just want to buy coins normally, you want to buy some shit coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever the case may be, if you want to buy them spot, you're not going to be paying any fees at all. So that is well worth checking out. Again, BingX coming in clutch with that no KYC, but also access to traditional finance markets if you are interested in trading them, is absolutely huge and well worth checking out right here. But back to the charts, we're not really seeing a change here, and there's no point continuing to watch this. This is the kind of time where really you want to do your analysis and then just leave. You don't actually want to be watching the charts too much because it's going to stress you out, it's going to make you panic and make irrational decisions and so on. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, we still haven't cleared resistance. Resistance is going to stretch up to 28.6. It's been the same narrative for me for quite some time. If we are able to get above 28.6, I'm full bull mode again. I'm already in the long position, so I'm riding this anyway, but I I would certainly expect that that long position is going to make me significantly more money. So I will continue to hold on to this position. The other thing that I think is worth noting is we do have this resistance line right here, and we've actually broken this. So I guess we don't need to. You can draw it a few different ways. So, if you draw it like this, which is definitely a good way to draw it in my opinion, we have broken it. That is absolutely beautiful. If we are trying to connect some of this price action, we are actually brushing up that resistance, brushing up against that resistance right now. So, and I don't want to go ahead and say like which line is more valid than another. To be honest, in order to kind of avoid confusion, one of my favorite tools to use in somewhat confusing situations like this is the parallel channel, right? So if we actually just go ahead and draw it like this is definitely cheating, but it also is just, in my opinion, more accurate to carry out analysis like this for two reasons. Number one, a lot of people, they fall into a really dangerous false sense of accuracy. They think that their analysis is really accurate, and that's not a problem, but the problem is that they think the market will respect the really precise lines that they drew. And that's not the case. The reality of markets is that we don't have lines, we have ranges, and this is still a line. I mean, you could basically say that the real line is this dotted one in the middle, but we're looking at like plus 1% on each side, plus minus 1% on each side, just to be realistic. This is the kind of thing, guys, that like when you start learning how to trade, people don't tell you this stuff. The reason they don't tell you this stuff is because they haven't fucking traded themselves. If they haven't traded themselves, how on earth are they gonna know about very specific problems like this? That you can draw really accurate TA lines, but if you don't think of them as ranges, and if you think of them as just one perfect millimeter thick line, that is probably not going to get you too far. It's probably going to mean that you're going to have orders that never get filled, stop losses that never get triggered, and so on and so forth. And it's just going to be a disaster. You don't want to find yourself in that position. You need to understand that the markets have some degree of flexibility, even if they're doing what you think. And sometimes they have a huge degree of flexibility, and they actually just form full-on ridiculous deviations, right? Where we have beautiful areas of support like this, and it just, you can't say that the range for this support line stretches all the way down here and that this entire area is support, because that's obviously unreasonable, right? I mean, we're looking at if we just draw a straight line up, a 14% line, it's ridiculous, right? Sometimes the market has this much flex, and you just need to know this. You just need to know this so that you can position yourself to trade it. The fact that I knew that deviations like this are very common allowed me to feel confident enough to go long right here. It's because I saw when we got the drop down, we started coming back up. I was like, well, this looks like another classic deviation for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin absolutely loves to form deviations. Look at this resistance level right here, deviation above it. Absolutely beautiful every single time. I used to hate these deviations. Now that I know how to trade them, I love them. So here you go. I hope you have enjoyed this video. We are still up at that resistance level. We're doing really well, though. Definitely looks like Bitcoin can climb a little bit higher. So this could turn into a much more exciting daily close in the next 50 minutes. You guys are going to know because you're going to be watching this video after that. And of course, for me, I'm going to continue to keep VIPs updated and all of that good stuff. And I will be continuing to adjust my trades. This trade I've actually taken on Bybit and OKX. And by the way, OKX, again, up to $30,000 in bonuses. But the reason OKX is cool is because their bonuses are actually really easy to get. See, for Bybit, if you want to get up to 30K, you have to deposit quite a bit of money. With OKX, you only have to deposit $50, and you're going to get up to $20,000 in bonuses just in the form of mystery boxes, right? So it doesn't matter how much you're actually depositing onto the platform, you still have a chance at winning some really big rewards. So well worth checking out. I hope you have enjoyed this one. Check out the links down below if you are interested in trading on the platforms that I'm using, and Telegram links down below if you do want to jump inside of my VIP group, see how I'm navigating my winners, see how I'm navigating my losses, see how I'm kind of developing the thought process for trades. There's a lot that goes into it. I take this really seriously. I'm doing all the work, and if you want to come in and see what I'm doing, then bam, there you go on screen right there. I really hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.